This morning, Senator Edwards joins us from Des Moines. Senator, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Matt. Glad to be with you.
Well, let me ask you right off the bat about this national intelligence estimate on Iran and its nuclear weapons ambitions. The headline seems to be, Senator, that Iran in 2003 halted its program to acquire nuclear weapons and that the 2005 estimate from the Intelligence Committee got it wrong. What do you make of this new information?
Well, I think what it tells us is that those of us who've spoken out against Bush and Cheney and the neocons moving forward on a march toward war with Iran were wrong. We were right and they were wrong. Because I think what we now know from this national intelligence estimate is that they appear to have halted their weapons program in 2003. I think a lot of us were concerned about that to begin with, and particularly given what we learned from the experience in Iraq. I think that standing up to Bush and Cheney and stopping them is enormously important.
In some ways, though, is it a feather in the cap of the administration? Does it show that the pressure brought to bear on Iran, led by the United States, actually had the desired effect?
No, I think it's exactly the opposite. I think what we've been hearing from the president when he talks about World War III and rattling his saber about Iran, I think what that indicates to me is that those of us who are on the other side and believe that we need to stop Bush and Cheney need to be stronger.
Let me ask you about Iran's neighbor, Iraq. Back in May of this year, Senator, 126 U.S. servicemen died in Iraq. That was before all the troops for the surge were in place and the strategy was implemented. Last month, 37 servicemen and women lost their lives there. Simple question, is the surge working?
I don't believe so. I think that there has been some decrease in the violence. There's no question about that. But the fundamental question that's been there all along, and it was there at the beginning of the surge, according to President Bush, is whether there's been some political progress, Matt. I mean, have the Sunni and Shia actually made some progress toward a political compromise or a political reconciliation? And if that hasn't happened, and it clearly has not, then there's been no serious progress.
But moving forward, is it more likely the Iraqi government and those two sides can find their footing under a situation of more violence or less violence? So in other words, if there's less violence now, doesn't that help them perhaps find their footing?
But of course, if the situation is more stable, it's better. But the problem is they've now had years to do this, and there's absolutely no indication that they've made any progress or any serious effort. And I think the fundamental threshold question is, what do we do to intensify pressure on Maliki and the Shia-led government and the Sunni leadership, fragmented as it is, to actually make some political progress? And I think the way to do that is make it clear that America is not going to stay there and prop them up forever, that we're actually going to leave.
So these declining casualty numbers do not make you rethink your call to withdraw U.S. troops?
Oh, absolutely not. I think there's been no political progress. Everybody from the Iraqi study group, even to President Bush, recognizes that without that political progress, there cannot be stability in Iraq. And in order to get that stability, we're going to have to intensify pressure on them.
We're 30 days away from the Iowa caucuses, Senator. Right now you're polling third, but within the margin of error, it's pretty much a dead heat. You've heard the political water cooler talk here, Senator, that people say that if you don't win Iowa, or some even say if Hillary Clinton doesn't lose in Iowa, that your campaign is finished. What's at stake in Iowa, in your opinion?
I think we're in a dead heat, as you just pointed out, in Iowa. I mean, I'm out here campaigning, as are Senator Obama and Senator Clinton. I'm having a great time. The last time in 2003 and 2004, I had a rapid rise in the last 30 days. We're in the last 30 days. People are paying very close attention here in Iowa now. And I think they're looking for somebody that they trust. They're looking for somebody who will tell them the truth, somebody they know, somebody they believe both can fight for them and bring the change we need, and can win in the general election, and that's me. So I'm having fun here, and I'm going to keep having fun.
Senator John Edwards, still campaigning in Des Moines, Iowa, with us this morning. Senator, it's nice to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt, for having me.